Very good morning, children. So we were discussing about animal tissues. So different types of animal tissues which are present in human beings and other animals. Also you learned. So what are the different types of animal tissues? Means epithelial tissue, then muscular tissue, connective tissue, then nervous tissue. So these are the different types of tissues. And in yesterday's class we learned about the nervous tissue also in detail. Is it not? So today we will learn about the epithelial tissue. So what you can understand by the term epithelial tissue? So yesterday also you can remember what I gave the definition. So epi means outer. Epi means outer. Thelium means covering. Is it not? So the covering parts present or which are seen in our body, just like our body skin is covering and other organs they are covered. Is it not? So that covering is because of epithelial tissue. And this epithelial tissue is present in the lining of tubules, lining of alveoli, and lining of mouth or lining of esophagus. Like the different parts we are going to observe this epithelial tissue. So this epithelial tissue, as it is helping in performing different functions. Apart from that, it's a structure little bit different we are observing. So according to that, we have this epithelial tissue in different types. Okay, so the different types of epithelial tissue we are going to learn now. So first one is said to be squamous epithelium. Squamous epithelium. Okay, first one is squamous epithelium, then stratified epithelium, stratified epithelium, then cuboidal epithelium, cuboidal epithelium, and columnar epithelium. Columnar epithelium. So like that, other types are also there, like glands are present, glands with which the glands, how they are made up of. So that type of epithelial tissue which is helping in making the glands in our body. So different glands are present, like salivary glands present in buccal cavity and other glands present in our body, like maybe exocrine or endocrine glands. So they are all also a type of epithelial tissue with which they are made up of. Okay, so now then that type of epithelial tissue we call it as glandular epithelium, and on the cell membrane when we observe cilia, then then they are called as ciliated epithelium. So now different types of epithelial cells we are going to observe in our body. So let us learn the structure and the function of different types of epithelial tissue. So this squamous epithelium, if we observe, so where it will be present. Okay, so that squamous epithelial cells are very much, they are arranged like this, and a single layer we are going to observe. They are arranged in a single layer. So this single layer which is seen in our of the cells. So this one we call as a squamous epithelium. Everyone understood? So if the epithelial cells, when they are arranged in a single layer, then what do we call means that type of epithelial tissue is called as a squamous epithelium. Everyone understood? And they are having very much delicate layer. Okay, so single layer, and they are delicate in nature. So where do we observe that kind of delicate nature in our body? Means that lining of buccal cavity or the lining of esophagus. So all that parts are having squamous epithelium. Is it clear to children? Okay. So now we come to the next point. What is that? Stratified epithelium. Stratified epithelium. So where do we observe the stratified epithelial cells? Okay, so the epithelial cells, when they are arranged in different layers, okay, the cells are arranged in layers. Okay, so in different layers the cells are arranged, and when these are seen like that, then they are called as stratified squamous epithelium. So now where do we observe different layers of the epithelial cells? Yes, you are right. Means that is said to be skin. Is it not, children? So the skin of our body, or in our skin, we observe the cells, epithelial cells, which are arranged in different layers. Is it not? So what are those layers? Outer epidermis, then middle mesodermis, and inner dermis. Okay, so the cells in a stratified epithelium, the cells are arranged very much in layers. Okay, so they are present in the skin. So skin is having 3 layers: outer epidermis, then middle mesodermis, and inner dermis. So can you guess, children, why the cells are arranged like that in our skin? So you know that skin is performing different functions. Is it not? So one function you may be knowing, so it covers our body. So no doubt the major function of epithelial tissue is said to be covering parts of our body. So what are the other functions the skin is going to perform? Yes. So you know it very well. The sweating, okay, means the sweat from our body is going to be eliminated through the skin, or not, children? Then apart from that, the skin is also helping in maintaining body temperature. Is it not? We can feel hot or cold. Coldness. Can we feel it or not? Yes. So we can feel the hotness or coldness. That is also because of skin only. Is it not? And it is not allowing any materials or unwanted things to enter inside our body. Is it not? So like that, different functions are going to be carried out by the skin. Okay, so that's why skin is called as a versatile organ. So it is performing different functions, like it is covering, so which helps in protection of our body organs. Then it is acting as an excretory organ, and it is, as it is having some glands, so they are going to produce some waste materials also, and needy materials also. Is it not, children? And it is acting as thermostat also. What does it mean? It helps in maintaining our body temperature also constant. Is it not, children? So that is all happening because of stratified squamous epithelium. Everyone understood? So, so here some questions are given. What is that? If you drink hot tea or chilled cool drink, so what will be your experience, or what is your feeling? So your feeling is said to be feeling of hotness if you are taking hot coffee or tea or milk, or if it is ice cream or any cool drink, we feel coldness. Is it not, children? So that feeling of sensation is also because of the type of epithelial cells and specialized cells which are present in the skin, that is receptor cells, cutaneous receptors, which help in knowing the different types of senses, especially hotness or coldness. That is also because of this epithelial tissue, that too stratified epithelium. Now another question is also given here. If your skin burns or wounded, which tissue would be affected? So as you know that, as that skin is having different layers, outer epidermis, mesodermis and dermis, so all that important glands and blood vessels are present in the dermal layer and mesodermis. So in epidermis, the cells are dead and very much thick in nature. Is it clear to you? So that's why only those cells are going to be burned. Okay, if we get any wounded or burned. So it is helping in protecting the internal organs. Is it clear to children? So that's why this stratified epithelium is having layers. So the cells are arranged in layers. That is outer epidermis, middle mesodermis and inner middle mesodermis and inner dermis. Is it clear to children? Okay. So now we will come to the next one. Next tissue. Next type of cell. Cells are epithelial tissue. Actually, this squamous epithelial tissue. Okay, what it is going to do, in what way it is helping, means you know that it is when it is present in the parts like esophagus or stomach or any other parts, it helps in transporting the materials from one part to other part. So we know we are taking food, so from the mouth, so the food is going to be entering into esophagus. From the esophagus it enters into the stomach. So like that it is going to happen, and the squamous epithelium is also helping in giving the mechanical support also to the different parts which are present in our body. Okay, and it is present in and it is acting as a selectively permeable liquid. Selectively permeable. What do you mean by selectively permeable? So some of the materials, needy materials, like if you take oxygen, yeah, it is to be carried to each and every cell of our body. So every cell is with oxygen or the food or any other hormones or any other needed materials. How they are going to enter inside the cell means that is again because of the nature of epithelial cells. Is it clear to you? So that is selectively permeability. So what does it mean, selectively permeability? So the cells are having the capability of selecting what type of materials that is to be enter inside the cell or exit of the materials from the cell, and how much quantity of the materials must be present inside the cell. How much amount of that unwanted materials or not needed materials are going to be sent out, that is happening. That one we call it as here selectively permeability, and this is happening because of squamous epithelial cells. Is it clear to children? Okay. So now even lining of esophagus. Okay. So lining of esophagus, we know that. So through this mouth, the food is going to enter, and this is esophagus, food pipe we call esophagus. Okay, so this lining is having that tissue and mouth also and blood vessels. So blood vessels if we see, okay, so these blood vessels are also having epithelial cells which help in transporting materials. Is it clear to you? So like that here the materials are going to be entering. So apart from that, alveoli. Okay, so alveoli, they are present in the lungs. So these alveoli are said to be the units. Okay, innumerable number of alveoli which are present in the lungs. Okay, so lungs are made up of alveoli. Okay, so this are called as alveoli. So this one are called as alveoli. And these alveoli, one if we observe, it is seen with the lining of the cells, epithelial cells. Okay, where the transporting of materials. So from the alveoli, they are going to be entering into the blood vessel, and from the blood vessel, they are going to be entering into the alveoli like oxygen and carbon dioxide. Is it clear to children? So that is about the epithelial cells. So now we will come to the cuboidal epithelium. cuboidal epithelium. So cuboidal epithelium, if we take how the cells are arranged, means the cells are all the cells. If the epithelial cells are like a cube, so you have seen the cubes, so cube will have same height, then width, length, all will be same, no children. So like that they will be seen. So the cells will be seen there like this. Cuboidal epithelium. Okay, is it clear to you? And having equal width, height and depth. Okay, and where these cells are present means they are present again in the lining of organs like kidney tubules. So kidney tubules, what are they? So suppose if we observe these kidneys, okay, so these kidney tubules, if we observe, so here we can observe the blood vessels. Okay, so now we have large number of nephrons, which are said to be the structural and functional units of kidney. Okay, so these are nephrons. And these coagulators, so the lining of these tubules and the lining of urinary bladder, all these are also made up of cuboidal epithelial cells. So what do they do? These cuboidal epithelial cells, they provide mechanical strength. So why they have to provide mechanical strength? You know that the kidney tubules, that nephrons are filtering so much of waste materials present in the blood, and they are going to be just transported, okay, with some amount of water. Okay, so urine, is it clear to children? So that is continuously happening. That is because of, and the tubes are present as it is there like that. The structure is present as it is there like that, and the this urinary bladder is having the capability of storing urine. Okay, so that is because of the cuboidal epithelial cells, which are giving mechanical strength. So you know that. So when we are blowing air, what will happen? How much capacity is there for that balloon? That much air you can fill. So continuously if we are blowing out, what will happen? It bursts. Is it not true? But here it is not happening there like that in our body. Why? Because of this type of epithelial cells which are present. So they are going to give mechanical strength to the parts, so that parts will be present and functioning in a proper way, normal way. Is it clear to children? Okay. Now we come to the next one, columnar epithelium. Columnar epithelium. So these columnar epithelial cells, where are they present in our body? Means they are present in the parts where absorption and transport of material, absorption and secretion of materials is going to happen in our body. Okay, so columnar epithelial cells, if we observe how the cells means, the cells are arranged in columns. Okay, the cells are arranged in columns like this, and this is a nucleus, cell membrane, all parts we can see. So these are arranged in columns, children. Everyone understood? And these cells are functioning. What is the function carried out by these columnar epithelial cells? Absorption. So what are the materials absorbed? Means you know that after the process of digestion, the food has to be absorbed. Is it not? the simple form of food like glucose or amino acids or fatty acids, they must be absorbed by the cells. So that is happening because of this type of epithelial cells. And secretion. Okay, secretion where it is happening? In the beginning also I said the glands which are present in our body, like salivary glands present in the buccal cavity, gastric glands present in the stomach, then intestinal glands present in intestines. So they are going to secrete some chemicals. Is it not? So the chemicals are secreted by glands. So apart from that, some other glands are there which are secreting their secretions and releasing them directly into the blood. We call them as endocrine glands. Okay, so exocrine glands and endocrine glands. Okay, so the lining of this exocrine and endocrine glands are having this type of columnar epithelial cells where the secretions of those glands will be just absorbed or transported and absorbed wherever they are needed. Is it ready? So that is happening because of columnar epithelial cells. Is it ready, children? So for example, if we take the human digestive system, so we have stomach and small intestine. Okay. So small intestine, and this portion if we take this highly coiled tubular portion, we call it as a small intestine. So in the small intestine, so it is highly coiled, very much narrow, its lumen is very much narrow, and here for absorption I am telling. What is happening here means, suppose if we take one, if we dissect it and if we absorb, we are going to absorb fine finger-like projections. So I will draw here this tube, when we cut it and when we observe it, so it can be seen there like this. So finger-like projections we are going to observe. So what are these finger-like projections which we are observing in the walls of that small intestine? Means they are called as villi. Okay, so these villi are richly supplied with blood vessels. So because of that, what will happen? The food whichever is present in the simple form, that is maybe amino acids or glucose or fatty acids which are present in the lumen of the small intestine, it is from the digestive system it is going to be absorbed. Okay, into the next cell, blood cells we can take, into the blood we can take. Okay, so that is happening because of villi. Is it produced through villi only? The the digested food material is going to be just absorbed. Is it clear to children? And it is going to be transported to the blood, through the blood, and taken or used up by all cells present in our body. Then secretion. So like glands are there. I said we have salivary glands. Salivary glands are secreting salivary juice. Is it not? So its secretions are released. Is it clear to you? So that is also because of this cells, that's columnar epithelial cells. Have you understood? So that is happening because of the different types of epithelial tissue whichever is present in our body. Okay. So first of all, it is present in our skin, covering all parts, and it is present in the lining of all the tubules of our body. Okay, like the kidney tubules you can take, alveoli you can take, or blood vessels you can take, or digestive tract you can take, or glands you can take. So all these are going to have the different types of epithelial cells which are helping in performing different functions in our body. Is it clear, children? So that is about the epithelial tissue. And some other functions if we take. So you are going to observe in your body like nails, hair and feathers in birds, hooves of animals. Is it not? Apart from that, scales in fish. From where they are developed? They are also developed from epithelial tissue. What for they are helping, children? You know it very well. So they are helping in protection. Is it not? Protection. To some extent, they are helping in protecting the organs, important organs of our body. Is it clear to children? So now, what you can understand with that epithelial tissue means, epi means outer, thelial means covering. So the place where they are present in our body, they are of different types: squamous epithelium, then stratified squamous epithelium, cuboidal epithelium, columnar epithelium. Ciliated epithelium is there. Cilia are present on the membrane of epithelial cells. Okay, and glandular epithelium. So on the glands it is present, which help in secreting the materials. Have you followed? So different functions are carried out and different structure little bit we are observing in the cells of epithelial tissue. Is it clear, children? Okay. So in today's class we completed epithelial tissue. Yesterday we completed what is that nervous tissue. So just we'll after going home, you please read all the content, whatever content concepts what I taught you. Is it clear to you? And today just we have a introduction for connective tissue. Connective tissue. So the name itself is making you to understand that each and every part present in our body are connected with each other. So very nice coordination, or without any interruption the functioning of body is happening. So that is all because of connective tissue. Is it clear to you? And this connective tissue is divided into different types and different functions are going to be carried out because of that connective tissue. Okay, so just this connective tissue, in what way it is helping means it is helping in making organs and tissues together. Then next one is said to be transporting materials. Then body defense is also going to happen because of connective tissue, and body repair work, storage of fat and structure, shape, it is also given because of this connective tissue. So in detail we will learn tomorrow in our class. Okay, now thank you.